This is easily one of the most disturbing movies that I've ever watched. What's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Randall. Welcome to Graveyard Shift. This is my second channel. If you're interested in punk music, we have the Punk Rock Review linked in the description of this one. But over here, we talk about horror movies, thrillers, 80s and 90s action cheese, kung fu movies, grindhouse, exploitation, and all of that kind of stuff, right? This movie, bro, my goodness. I don't know what else to say about it. Well, before we get talking, I'm at a loss for words. I just watched this movie a few minutes ago, and I had to get on here and make a video reviewing it. This won't be an extravagant video. It'll be short and sweet to the point. The movie's called Soft and Quiet. All right. Oh, man. Before we go any further, spoiler alert, I'm going to spoil the living crap out of this movie. So if you don't want spoilers, please just watch the video after you've seen the movie. I do recommend seeing the movie as blind as you possibly can. So if you are hearing this right now, don't watch the trailer. Don't listen to me anymore. Go watch the movie if you want. It's only available to rent on Amazon. It's not streaming anywhere for free that I could find. Uh, but yeah, 2022 Soft and Quiet is the title of the movie. So you've been warned. If you don't want spoilers, stop now. I don't want to hear any complaints in the comments. Well, you can complain if you want. I'll just roll my eyes at you. Soft and Quiet is a 2022 American psychological thriller film written, directed, and co-produced by Beth De Araujo, I believe is how you say it. This is her directorial debut as well. Jason Blum was an executive producer under his Blumhouse Productions banner. And then the film uses these long takes to have it look as though it's just a single take film. It is not a single take film. It is short. It's only like, 92 minutes. The movie's only got one person that I recognized in it. It's a young lady by the name of Olivia Lucardi. I recognize her from It Follows, and she was also in, I believe it was Candyland, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, Candyland well, I guess that came out in 2022 as well. Interesting. I just saw that movie this past year, so Candyland's an interesting flick. But yeah, this young lady has shown up in a couple of movies, but this is far and away her most visceral and extreme role, dude. Just okay. So I'm gonna go based on memory here and just kind of tell you about the movie, and then I'll give you my rating and whether or not I think you should watch the movie. As a matter of fact, my rating on this movie is it's gonna sound weird because you're gonna want to know why I'm saying this. I'm ranting and raving about how crazy this movie is, but my rating is a 6 out of 10. Okay. Whether or not you should watch this movie, I'd say like, if you like disturbing stuff, I'd say like 9 out of 10. If you don't like disturbing movies at all, like 1 out of 10. If you're a Republican, well, I don't know why you'd be hanging out on this channel, first and foremost. If you're like a liberal or you lean left, this is going to be a shocking movie for you to watch. So the movie starts out in a weird way. It's like at a elementary school, a lady is taking a pregnancy test, and I guess she starts crying. So you kind of think that maybe she's pregnant. Turns out she's not pregnant. That's why she's crying. She then goes outside. It kind of cuts. She goes to the school. She's outside of a school, and this kid is, I think, talking to her or reading something. And this lady's pushing a mop bucket and making kind of a bit of noise. And I didn't know anything about this movie. I went in completely blind. So I didn't know why she was looking at this lady real strange. It was the teacher lady is a white woman with straight blonde hair. And the lady pushing a mop bucket is Hispanic. She gives her this crazy look, and then she tells the kid, like, hey, she was being really loud while you're trying to talk. You should go in there and say something to her. It's wild, bro. And this kid goes in there. She's like, you should stick up for yourself. And it's very confusing. You don't really know what's going on. Then the kid's mom shows up, and they talk for a minute, and she leaves. The teacher leaves, right? She goes to this house area, and there's a lady outside. She's like, hey, who are you? Why are you here? The lady's like, I'm waiting for this lady, Kim. She's like, oh, I'm here for Kim as well. So they meet. And that person that she met was actually Olivia Lucardi in her character. What was her character in this movie? Dude, I don't even know. I'm so flabbergasted by this film. So they meet, and they're both waiting for this lady, Kim. Then you go upstairs. It's a group of women, and you're like, oh, what is this? Some kind of like church group or something? Not even a little bit. I wrote down a couple of things. I forgot I did this. This movie blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Oh my goodness. I wrote down, I was told to go into this one blind, so I did. Yeah. Oh, dude, I completely forgot. So they're setting up. They go upstairs, and you're like, oh, what is this? A church group or something? They set down some food. The white teacher lady had brought a pie with her, right? And it was covered in foil. When they get upstairs, they remove the foil, and there's a big swastika carved in the pie. Bro, what? And they're all like, "Oh, it's a practical joke. Oh, it's just a joke." And then they cut the pie, start serving it. I want to say they just destroy this pie when they're cutting into it. Like, who serves pie like that? If I can get a clip of this on here, I will. It made me so angry. Well, actually, it didn't, because it's a big Swazi pie. It's just a beautifully cooked cherry pie, and I like cherry pie. I wouldn't want one like that. Oh, golly, man, that ruined cherry pie for me. I'll just go with apple pie. Oh my goodness, this movie was wild, dude. What the actual F is going on here? The group actually ends up being called Daughters for Aryan Unity. That's the fucking group name. What? Dude, it's insane. I wrote down, holy shit, I feel like this is a look behind the curtain that is white middle class suburbia and the growing far right. And I stand by that. I thought this movie was made this year. 2022 actually scares me that it was made that long ago. But I do feel like this is a peek behind the curtain of how upper middle class, white, Republican, conservative America talks, feels, behaves, and acts. That's how I feel. And maybe it's just because we're getting all this stuff amplified in our face, and it's probably a minority of people. It's almost certainly not the majority of them, right? I know there's got to be some conservative folks that are good people, but it's hard for me to understand why you would support somebody like our current president. I don't want to get into a big political topic, but like, that's what makes me feel this way, is that if you support what they're doing, I don't understand how you can do that and be a good person. Anyways, the lady says in this movie, we founded this country in 1776, and now we're watching it being taken from us right in front of our eyes. That's wild as fuck, dude. Go ask a Native American how they feel about that statement. This movie is insane. So basically what happens is they are a group of Klansmen wives. I don't know. But they're having this meeting, and they're trying to figure out how to go out and put out propaganda and grow their group. That's their goal, is to get their group larger. They want to get out and make why should we be ashamed? It is wild, man. All the gnarly shit you hear online about this like under the table racism, low key racism bullshit about why should we be ashamed to be, well, all lives matter. All that sneaky racism shit is in this movie, man. Is what the dialogue had me shook, man. This movie's wild, dude. That's why it was so brutal, and why it's so disturbing. It's not because it's murders, it's not because of gore, it's not because of assault, it's because it's realistic. In 2026 America, this is realistic. It's terrifying to me. Absolutely terrifying. So they had their group meeting. One of the ladies owns a convenience store, so they leave after the meeting. They disperse, right? Some of them are going home, some of them are going to work, some of them are going to this other lady's house. They're going to go to the teacher's house and have some wine. And so 3 of them end up leaving together. I think the group was only 6 deep, right? So 3 of them end up going to this convenience store where one of them owns the store. They're in the store hanging out, getting bottles of wine, and these 2 Hispanic girls walk in. One of them, I think, was a lesbian, but they end up being sisters. I don't know. There was some very nasty stuff said. I'm just assuming that's what the case was. I only watched the movie once. I don't know if I can bring myself to watch it a second time. And they start arguing. They start talking shit to the Hispanic girls, basically. And then one of the girls is like, I'm just going to leave. And she starts to leave. And then the younger sister is like, why don't you stand up for yourself? You need to stand up for yourself. And that causes a big, giant thing. And I guess at the point there, the lady was telling them, like, hey, you got to leave. You can't be in here. And the girl's like, I just wanted to get a bottle of wine. And she's like, no, we're closed. And she's like, well, you're serving this girl. And the girl turns around. She's like, well, I work here. And it just turns into this big thing. And the girl says, well, can we just buy a bottle of wine? I was going to buy the most expensive bottle of wine you've got. And so it ends up being this thing, and then they're fixing to leave, and then the one with the decorative pie, she ends up saying, uh, "Well, no, you were going to buy a bottle of wine. Go ahead and buy the bottle of wine. Don't forget you were going to buy the most expensive bottle they got." This girl buys like a $300 bottle of wine, and she pays for it in cash. So then uh, they get cornered at the door by one of the belligerent piece of shit white girls. They end up cornering the girl at the door, and she's got this bottle of wine. They start arguing with her about the only person that carries $300 in cash is either a drug dealer or a hooker. I'm not 100% that's what they said. I can't remember. But I think that's what she said, either a drug dealer or a hooker. And the girl says, or a waiter. I'm a waiter. I serve tables. And so they argue whatever. They get into an argument, and they're saying a bunch of racist, nasty stuff. And as the Hispanic girls are leaving, the white girls are flipping them off, and the Hispanic girl says through the window, she says something about her, you know, I don't remember exactly what the words were, but mentions the woman's brother being in jail or prison for a sexual assault. And she says he won't ever be able to shit right after he gets home. You know what I'm saying? And so these white women get all angry. They start devising a plan. And one of them says, "I know where they live. And they're not going to be home. Let's go take a shit on their floor," or something like that. I don't know. It was something real gross like that. And so they travel over. The teacher's husband ends up showing up, and he's trying to convince them to not do this craziness. They're telling him we're gonna do the craziness. So he ends up going with them over to the house. I think telling them like, "Hey, you got 5 minutes in this house. After that, you have to leave." I think he was basically pressured by his wife. She called him a bitch essentially. He didn't want to go. I don't know. It was very cowardly in my opinion. And so they go to the house, and they're rummaging through their things, and they're just laughing and joking and talking crap. And it's four of the women, and the girls aren't supposed to be home. They're supposed to be out of there. They're mad because they inherited the land from somebody. They're mad because the girls were able to afford wine, and this girl works for minimum wage. It's just this typical like misplaced anger, right? I think it's just racism. It's just flat out racism. The girls end up coming home. So when the girls get home, the home invaders decide to basically kidnap them. They kidnap them in their own home. They catch them both, tie them up with tape and everything. And as they're like abusing them, somebody takes like trail mix and shoves it down the mouth of the younger sister that was talking all the noise. And as soon as she did that, I knew something bad was going to happen. I knew it. As soon as she shoved the food in her mouth, and she ends up being allergic to peanuts, and she's going into convulsions, and she's foaming at the mouth, and they have an EpiPen, but the girl won't go get it. So she's being a shithead. Ultimately, she goes up, she gets it, comes back down. It's too late. The sisters died. One of the women has a gun on her. She ends up pulling a gun and saying, like, "You can't go nowhere. You're staying here with us." Ultimately, they go get this big tarp. They've got two dead bodies. They go and they take them to a lake. They put them on a boat, and they go out and they dump them in the lake. It's an insane story. It's all about racism. And you're like, "Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness." So major spoilers right here. Okay. So if you don't want major spoilers, like the end of the movie, major spoilers, then stop watching. Right. So when they kill those two girls, and so they put them in this tarp and they zip it up and they throw them in the water. And the whole time they're in the car driving to the lake, they keep flashing. The camera is like angled at like the people talking, but it's very clearly wanting you to look at this tarp, and it's not moving. They're dead. And they get out into this lake and they throw them in the water, and it just bubbles. It goes down, and then it just sits there staring at the water for like a good 30, 45 seconds. And then boom, the older sister comes busting out of the water. I knew that shit was gonna happen. I was hoping that they had the courage to not do that. I will say this. I'm very torn about this ending because on one hand, I want the people that were being racist pieces of shit to get what they've got coming to them. On the other hand, it's not real. It's a movie. It's fake. So it's based on reality. It's not real. So I wanted it to be more of a brutal ending because it's a brutal movie. And for that reason, that's why I give it like a 6 out of 10, man. They did this entirely brutal movie just for the end to be super weak, lame. You didn't have the courage to just stick the landing. What are we doing, man? If you're gonna make a movie that's brutal, make it a brutal movie. There's no happy endings in this shit. The girl doesn't get out and then suddenly, like, what are we doing? I don't know. I don't know. Now I'm saying it out loud. I kind of think that woman that made it out, maybe she didn't want to make it out because she's gonna have a shitty life now. Her sister's gone, but still, I just feel like those women. I mean, good. They get what they're. I don't know. I'm super torn right now. This movie's insane. It's insane. It's called Soft and Quiet. It came out in 2022. It's absolutely insane. It is kind of a slow burn. It's mostly dialogue, but it is tense. It is gut wrenching. It is hard to watch. Man, I'm telling you, if you got the stones to watch this movie, and it's not look. I've seen a Serbian film. I'm about to watch Salo. I've seen Irreversible. It's not quite as brutal as those movies because it's not brutal in action. It's brutal. Well, that's not true. How do I say? It's just putting a mirror right in front of America right now, and it's scary. I don't know. I just want to know what you guys have to say about this movie. Have you seen it? This is a way longer video than I intended, so let me know what you think about this film. If you've seen it, I highly recommend that if you're into the disturbing movies, go check this one out. This one blew my mind. Salt and Quiet, 2022, psychological horror thriller, 6 out of 10. But I recommend that you watch it if you're into disturbing films. If you don't like the disturbing stuff, run far away from this film. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm sorry. This one I had to talk about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. We're very young right now. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. So please help us reach those goals. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the movie if this is your jam. If not, I'll see you in the next one, okay? Have a good night. Peace.